That is the person I'm calling about. Her name is Brianna, B-R-E-A-N-N-A, same last name.
Same last name as Corey?
Correct.
Okay, and where does she live at?
I'm unsure.
Do you have a phone number for her or any credit card next?
I don't have it readily available, but you guys have been involved numerous times with us, so I'm sure that it's in the documentation somewhere.
Okay, all right, and what were the concerns today for the child?
So, essentially, his mother has put in an emergent application after filing
For custody of the child?
yeah, so she essentially filed with CPS abuse allegations, which there's a worker that's actively involved. The worker has came out to the house unannounced for the first visit, has discussed with my son privately what happened to the solution that he had. My son has described that it was from football. Now, fast forward to yesterday, actually, it was this past weekend, my son's mother had him. She had him the entire weekend, and she had called DCP on Friday. She called again on Sunday, which kind of made no sense in my mind, considering she had him that entire time. Nonetheless, now fast forward to yesterday. Yesterday, the DCP worker that we have been working with informed me that my son needed to go get an evaluation done within 7 business days, or 7 days, excuse me. His son's mother then decided that to take it upon herself during the 3-hour visit yesterday to take my son to the doctor, to the hospital, and she just went video silent, essentially from 7:30 until 1 o'clock in the morning. And I had no idea what was going on. She would not leave my son's side, and I was not able to be there for my son. And then furthermore, my son came back this morning, and he was stating to me that his mom said that he had to tell the doctor that I had hit him and things of that nature and coaching him. I tried to call our caseworker, but of course he's not answering. She said that the caseworker told her to disregard the visitation and to go to the hospital. Which I imagine is not the case, considering we had up to 7 days to do so, that it didn't have to be done the same day and against a court order.
I mean, I can tell you that even not knowing this case at all, it's not something that DCP would, restrict any sort of contact without any sort of documentation or court order involvement, kind of stating that. So that does not appear accurate. But I mean, and I can obviously note what you're telling me, and I know that the worker didn't answer. The worker is probably, the offices are closed today. So this information will get, passed on to a worker. That way they can see this information as part of the case. But no, there's nobody available at this point in order for you to speak to.
No, and I figured as much, but I wanted to document that my son had came home today after he was supposed to come home at 7:30 last evening. His mother refused to leave his side, so I was not able to be there for my son. And he said it was at the direction of DCP. And furthermore, the big issue for me is, she put in an abuse allegation, which she's done over a dozen times. And every single time he has said that it is not the case. He has said it to the worker twice, once on Friday, once on Sunday when the worker came back out. Now, after she had him for an extended period of time yesterday and had him at the hospital and was coaching him to say that I hit him, he said it. So my big concern is just, that her coaching is going to be disregarded and it's only going to be regarded in his statement.
And I'll definitely make note of what you're saying, and the worker has to take all things into account. And I obviously can't speak for how the case itself is going to be managed, but I mean, I will note everything that we're talking about and make sure that the worker gets a copy of it.
Yeah, because realistically, the worker has spoken to my son at my residence, and my son's very comfortable here. So there's no issues with that. And my son, I need to know the worker was coming. So even if I wanted to do something like she did and coach my son to say a particular thing, I had zero time to do so.
Yeah.
So, I just wanted documented that he came home and one of the first things the first two things he said to me is, I don't want to go with my mom anymore. She's going to try to take me away from you. And then he also said that, mom told me to lie, I had to lie. And that was a huge concern of mine.
Yep, I'll definitely make notice. I do have some mandated questions to ask you about your household, as well as mom's household. And if you don't know the answers, you can just tell me that you're unaware.
Sure.
All right, what's the race and language of everybody involved?
White and English.
Any domestic violence, criminal history, or current substance abuse issues for anybody that you're aware of?
None of my household, their household, yes. The mother has significant substance abuse issues with methamphetamines, amphetamines, and heroin. And I actually am highly concerned that she's relapsing at this time.
What makes you believe that she's relapsing at this time?
She's acting very erratic, and it's extremely out of character for her, and there's no rationale behind it.
Any special needs, disabilities, or diagnosed mental health issues?
Well, also I wanted to see that the mother's sister, so my son's aunt, who by court order is not supposed to be around my son, is around my son, and she just got out of jail for drug charges. And then there's also the maternal breast.
Any indication that the aunt is using around the child, and what's her name, actually?
Her name is Nicole Mitchell, and last name. No indication that she's using around him, at least that I'm aware of.
And what were you going to say about the grandparent?
Maternal grandmother's boyfriend, who also lives at the household, is a two-time felon, convicted felony assault. And he's by court order not supposed to be there as well, but he is every time my son is there.
All right, and related to mom's drug issues, I know you said that you believe she relapsed. Any indication besides her acting erratic and irrational? Like, did anybody say they saw her to be influenced, or any specific evidence of her using drugs?
Not specific evidence in that regard. Also, she started hanging around her ex-boyfriend who she was using with. She's been around my son as well, which is also against court order.
Any safety concerns in either home for a worker? Any vicious animals, weapons?
No, not I'm aware of.
Any child prostitution, pornography, or forced labor regarding anybody?
Not here, and not that I'm aware of over there.
Any international travel for anybody within the last 14 days?
No.
Anybody either having COVID-19 or suspected to have COVID-19?
No.
And anybody having any series of respiratory infections, coughs, sore throats, anything like that?
No, but going back, I remember you asked a question about like mental disorders and things like that. The mother has PTSD from being bullied in middle school, and my son is diagnosed as emotionally disturbed with the classification had when he lived with his mother based on the past aggressive behaviors he showed, which does not exhibit anymore.
And I know that he's with you now. When is the next time he's due to see mom?
I believe it is next Tuesday.
What time do we know?
4:30 to 7:30, but knowing her, it's going to go over, and she'll find an excuse to justify bringing the court order again.
And that contact that she has with him, when it happens, is it unsupervised?
Yes, correct.
All right, so this will go into our Ocean South office. That way they have this information as communication. Is there anything else I could do for you?
No, that's really it. I'm just, worried that she coached him to say something. He came home and told me it, but, maybe it's going to be considered, and it's just a huge concern of mine. On top of everything else.
Well, I hope everything does work out. I'll definitely make this notification.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Have a good night.